Here's my deal, and when you want to talk about the Big East, Creighton.
Yeah.
You saying they're not should be there? Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, Creighton's gonna beat Auburn today. So there's one.
No, they're not.
Oh yeah, they'll beat them to death.
There we go.
Okay, now I'm getting out my betting out here.
St. John's against Arkansas.
St. John's has had a very good year.
Yeah,
Yes.
St. John's is very good.
Yeah.
Can they go on? I mean, you start looking at the
St. John's will make a decent run, but they don't have the consistent offensive firepower. Rick Pitino has gotten turned that team into an elite defensive team.
Explain the Big East. I mean, the Big Ten seeding.
Yeah, I know. I know. But you have to look at their strength. They do take their non-conference strength of schedule into consideration, Kevin, and it's just not. You're not showing me that. So if that is a major contributor, and I think it is, like you showed the metrics, like 7 or 8 metrics they use.
Right.
I think their non-conference strength of schedule probably is the number one metric they look at outside of what conference did you play in, right? Are you playing, the School of the Deaf and the Blind, or are you going out and playing St. John's?
And how are you performing?
Are you playing Creighton non-conference?
How are you performing against them?
Right, and how are you playing against them? Because are you just trying to pad your wins, or are you going out and playing somebody? So I think since that has a lot of weight to it, and Kevin makes a good point with the conference records. I would modify his a little.
7-0.
What's that?
Big 10,
yeah. I mean,
7-0.
they've played well so far, but they've had higher seeds too. What I mean? They've been higher seeds.
What's that got to do with anything?
You're playing weaker competition if you're a higher seed, Terry.
I know that, but I mean,
That's what it's got to do.
Yeah,
with.
I just think if you had a losing record and you win your conference championship like State did,
yeah.
that's fine. You
I'm
earned
just
your
saying-
way
I'm
in,
just-
but
I'm
not
just- what
just hey, we're going to let you in.
What I
'cause
would say is to
Congratulations.
eliminate, instead of that 50% rule, let's eliminate everyone without a winning record in their conference.
that's fine.
That's what I would say.
You start there.
and then you go from there.
There you go. My map of the week. Tom loves my maps. 100% of national champions since '97
Worked with the Super Bowl.
have located pretty much east of Dallas, Texas, for the most part.
Even though a lot of the people are moving west.
So if you're betting on a champion, Tom,
I took
giving you-
St. John's in both my
there you go.
brackets.
As long as you're east of that line. All right, 96% of national championships 2001 had a top 21 Ken Palm. 91% of champions had a 31 Ken Palm. Defense, the first one was offense. These are the 9 teams that currently fit that criteria.
Yeah.
If you pick the national champion of Michigan, Purdue, Houston, Iowa State, Michigan State, Florida, Arizona, Auburn, or Duke, you fit those categories. Chip, what do you think about that?
Yeah,
I'm pulling for Arizona.
I'd like Izzo to get one more championship.
Pulling for Caleb Love, baby. Can you put Duke out in this?
I'd love for Caleb Love to put Duke. that'd be very fitting.
Can he? I think he can.
But we, I worry, and this, I worry that this might be an alarmist.
Is he in the same bracket, or is he
yeah,
be
they're in the
Final Four?
same bracket. If both of them win, they play each other.
Oh, just next the next.
The next one.
There you go.
That'll not happen.
I'll become an Arizona fan that day. That's for sure.
That will not happen.
He's going to try to score 40, Terry. He
I
might not.
I
He's gonna try to score
apologize.
40.
I apologize that this is alarmist, but I'm concerned about the. I hate to use the term downfall, but
Tom, who'd you
the
say you
ACC's past its peak.
No, it's
St.
not.
John's.
I
Yeah.
did pick
You don't
St.
know like
John's.
this
Right
stat.
now, I'm gonna tell you what's happening, and people can sit back all they want because it all changes next year. That's when the ACC will become back elite, because now the SEC is using all that money that they got for football to go get basketball players to make their whole teams better.
How is that going to change next year?
It will, because everything's become stationary across the board. There's a cap that you're going to have.
You think the cap's going to help?
Oh,
with it?
yes, it will. And people ain't going to go down there to the football conferences to dadgum play basketball. They're not going to stay there.
Terry, they've been doing it. They're doing it for the past decade. I mean, Sankey has reinvested, and you got to remember. And then we talked about
But
this.
all of a sudden, the money's not there. So Duke and
What?
Carolina and State can give you the same amount of money that them people
But
are
they
giving.
can't give you the same. They can't give you the same experience because all the SEC,
Oh, yeah.
all
They
the
give
SEC
you the
schools
same.
are going to do, with the exception of Carolina and Duke, all the SEC schools are going to do is they're going to take the money that they're getting off of their football revenue, reinvest that into it's not going to go to the player directly. It's going to go into the program. It's going to go into the extracurricular benefits that those students get, the food, the facilities, all
They'll
those
not
things.
be able to withstand it. I just
They've
don't
been
think
whipping the ACC for the past decade doing that.
No,
Tom, you want to read
won't
my
happen.
stat of the day that affects your gambling habits?
My gambling habits aren't that bad. Although I wasn't going to really get on my betting app and do anything, but then you guys talked about this so much, and then his incredibly stupid comment just made me play a parlay, and I laid the 9.5 points.
Talking, he like
Not only did I
He's
gave
not
the
referring to my
points.
stupid comments.
I gave the points. I'm like, let's go ahead and win some money here. Whatever Terry says, destroyed or something of that nature.
Creighton's going to annihilate
So do you
Auburn
want
today.
Now, Terry, in the
do you
same
want to make
sentence-
do you want to make another?
Wait a minute.
do you
In the
want-
same
so-
sentence, he
this
said he
is
didn't
so
have a
dumb.
gambling problem, and then he said he just bet in the middle of the night while he was talking
we-
on a
in the-
TV show.
In the midst of a show.
I don't have a gambling problem.
Tom, step one is admitting that there's an issue.
I don't have a gambling problem.
At 8:15, you got to get that betting.
I just want to
He's
know.
itching,
I
Ken.
just want to know why you think that Creighton will destroy Auburn. Why?
Why do you think that Auburn? Why does everybody that comes in this room think Auburn's so great?
They played in a
They're
tough conference
good.
all year.
Barkley's
They're
the
good.
head
They played
Okay,
in a
they're
tough
good,
conference.
but you got Broome. It's going to be equally matched against the big guy from Creighton. Creighton's got 7-3. And he can play. He's been there he beat State 3 years ago.
Auburn-
Because State couldn't stop him.
Auburn's more than one player. They're not.
You know.
This isn't Purdue with Zach Edey.
Have you
okay?
seen Creighton
So
play?
because 3 years ago NC State couldn't beat them, they're going to beat Auburn today.
Whatever three that Auburn can do, they better muscle them to death. That's the only way, because you're not going to beat them from the 3-point line. Creighton's a better 3-pointing team than Auburn is.
So JP's on his betting app too.
I mean,
All right, so
Okay.
no,
I don't waste my money.
I guarantee you that you do.
Hey.
No top 2 seed that started the season unranked has ever made the Final Four. St. John's,
Yeah,
Tom.
but you know Patino. would
St.
cheat.
John's is sitting down there.
You know Patino's going to cheat his way there. Come on.
And Michigan
He's
State.
going to cheat.
well,
his
he'll
way.
have a hard time getting through today.
He's playing Calipari today, isn't he?
Yeah,
The Cheaters Cup.
Yeah,
there.
that's it. Arkansas against St. John's.
we give
The-
give
so here's
Italians
the-
a bad name.
The ego bowl.
So here's the
Yeah.
selection committee math, where the ACC used to have 9 teams, and we'd get in, 6, 7, or 8 teams in it, Terry. Now we got 16. We can't get in but 4.
Yeah.
How about Kentucky, 2013, 21-11, 12-6 in the SEC, missed the tournament. This year's Kentucky, same record, worst record in the SEC, 3 seed.
Wow. Times have changed.
But here you go, Tom. The Big Ten can prove that the SEC is no good when they play Illinois' highest scoring team in college
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah.
So can Kentucky keep up with them?
I'm hoping I'm wrong, Terry, because last year we had similar conversations. Then what ended up happening? The ACC had 3 or 4 teams in the Elite Eight, 2 teams in the Final
Yeah.
Four. But this year, with the exception of the Duke Blue Devils,
Duke's
ACC
it.
dropped an egg. The
The
ACC laid
ACC was not good.
yeah.
I mean,
Why do
I'm
you-
the first one to say that.
Why
I
do you
mean,
guys always screw up the egg analogy?
Sorry.
You don't drop an egg.
Lay
You
an
lay
egg.
an egg.
Lay an egg. Sorry.
Kevin, they always screw up the egg analogy.
My bad. My
I
apologies.
just don't
They
understand.
ain't got enough
this.
cousins with chicken coops.
I
in the
guess they
backyards.
don't.
Yeah. So, my fault.
Tom's had chickens. My family's had chickens. I don't know about
Yeah,
y'all.
I wish I had them now.
I know, right?
Let's
Where's
bet,
that at?
Let's bet on every one of these games.
Don't get Tom hot.
Terry
Don't
doesn't
get him
know.
reach for
Terry
his
doesn't know
app.
how to download apps on his phone.
He's
No,
right. He's
let's
writing out the
bet 'em.
parlays on his paper.
Because
like
Tom,
he's
I'm gonna
supposed,
make.
like he's
I'm-
supposed to.
It's all about making Tom look bad.
So
That's
are
what
we?
it's about.
Are we going to bet on the Creighton Auburn game?
No, we're gonna bet on every game.
Are we going to bet? Are we going to bet
There's,
on the Creighton?
16 games here, right?
Are we
Yep.
going to bet on the Creighton Auburn game?
Yeah.
Did y'all know that
Okay.
Kansas has been the #1 preseason team 5 times and has never made the Sweet 16?
This is the worst
And those
Kansas
5
has
times.
ever come in.
Well, they're not there anymore.
I know. But
They
that's what I'm
dropped. They
saying.
dropped an egg yesterday.
That's what
Dropped
I'm
an egg.
saying. This was. I mean,
They dropped an
They
egg.
dropped an egg.
15 of the last 16 national champions. Now this is what Tom liked. These are my kind of stats. 15 of the 16 last national champions scored an odd number of points in round 1 of the tournament. So it's good news for you Houston and Alabama fans. Y'all scored an even number of points.
I'm not even going to respond. I don't
The
even
man
wanna
who just
respond.
went and pulled his gambling application out in
This
his
is
pocket while
in-depth
sitting next
data
to Terry.
that-
We were talking
give him
about
in-depth-
the game.
15 of 16,
We
Tom.
were talking about
That's
like
a good percentage.
games.
That's a good
I know,
percentage,
that's-
Chip.
And you're talking about some oddball
This
point
is
stat.
in-depth knowledge. Kevin is just
No.
feeding you. He's putting it on a platter,
No.
Tom.
No.
15 of the last 16 national champions. You should have seen me before,
I just listened to
before
who
we had-
Terry picks, and I just picked the opposite, so I
I
can
just
win
got
money.
through saying we was going to bet on all these games, Tom. and then we're going to see who's
What are we
okay
betting?
when we're done.
All right, let me pull up my bracket.
I'll pull the whole bracket up.
I
just
got
a
it
second.
right
got a
here.
couple more.
Auburn and Creighton to start it.
Hold on, we'll do it. We'll give it a sec. All right. Have y'all looked into this West Virginia, Indiana situation?
No.
Y'all know anything about what's going on?
Heard
with
they
this?
hired
Yeah, I
a new
know
coach.
he's
but-
the coach that went now to Indiana.
So, the big argument, Carolina was up against West Virginia for the last spot, apparently. The West Virginia fans are up in arms. The governor
Including
has
the governor.
has sued the NCAA, but there's a conspiracy afoot with the coach and his son, who played in November 27th through the 29th, last fall, the Battle of Atlantis. West Virginia and Indiana played there. 1 week later, his son and best player on his team, or second best player on his team, has exploratory arthroscopic surgery in his shoulder and is out for the season. As soon as the season ends, player hits the portal along with his dad, and they both are now Indiana Hoosiers. Tommy, was there treachery afoot
It might have been.
in Indiana?
The stars kind of line up.
Darian Devries and his son. And, of course, Jay Billis reminds you the portal is always open for the coaches.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
what Kevin Keats said. Portal's open.
That's what NC State told Kevin Keats.
So what do you think about that, Tom?
Well, it definitely smells a little fishy, doesn't it?
Son out for the season the next week, which saved his 5th and last season.
Right, so he could play.
So it's not like he's a freshman. He saved his season so he could go with his dad to Indiana. Because if not, he just spends his last season in West Virginia.
Yeah.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
Does it make a difference? You can do whatever nowadays.
Well, Terry, that's a very good point. And thank you for approving of everything.
Well,
All right, Terry, you want to bet on some games, Terry?
Yeah,
I
we'll
guess
bet.
he wants to bet on some games. I don't know how you
I'm taking Creighton.
We're
I'm
very well
taking-
aware of that.
I'm taking Auburn.
All right, we're going to start at the top. So Auburn and Creighton, 7 p.m. today. Chip,
Creighton rolls.
Chip,
Thank you, Terry. Give me Auburn.
Auburn.
You going Auburn?
Yes,
Okay, that's where all y'all fall.
I appreciate it.
The warning.